Creating schedules can be a time-consuming, multi-step process, so we've streamlined the worksheet creation process by adding more types of reports and schedules in our Create Reports interface. This gives you an accessible, intuitive, automated, and user-friendly interface for creating and editing reports that's easier to learn and saves you time. In Vectorworks 2018, there are many improvements to worksheets to improve productivity and make them easier to use. To begin with, the Create Report dialog has been revamped. All functionality in previous versions found through the Choose Schedule command will now be integrated into Create Report. With Design Series products, in the top left of the Create Report dialog, select Pre-Formatted Report from the Type dropdown. This will give a list of pre-made schedules and will include some of the familiar options such as the door schedules, window schedules, and plant lists. If you're looking to create your own report, in the Type dropdown, choose Custom Report and give the worksheet a title in the top right. Next, select the criteria. Basic criteria allows criteria based on an object type. This can be a quick way to create a report based only on objects, such as all doors in your file. The Advanced Criteria button will allow for additional fields to be added to help narrow down the objects that the report will pull. As an example, we can set up Advanced Criteria to look only for the objects with the door record and only objects on the first floor. Once we're selecting criteria, we'll select the columns that we want to display in the worksheet. Available columns will be found on the left. Highlight them and add them to the right column to make them display in the worksheet. The order can be adjusted on the right-hand side by dragging and dropping from the first column. In the middle of the columns, there's also a new option, Add Custom Field. This allows you to add a custom column to the worksheet where you can put more specific information or equations such as multiplying the height and width columns to provide an area column. There's a new checkbox for selecting if you want the worksheet summarized by a specific field. There are two new additional checkboxes at the bottom. Place Report on Drawing allows you to place the worksheet directly after clicking OK in the Create Report dialog. If this is unchecked, the worksheet will still be created, but it will become a resource found in the Resource Manager for the file and can be placed or edited any time through the Resource Manager later. Append to Existing Report will allow this report to be added on to a pre-existing worksheet in the file. If you already have a worksheet, you can also get to the Create Report dialog by editing the worksheet, highlighting a spreadsheet row, going to the New Database menu, and selecting Create Report. Once a database row is in the worksheet, you can turn on and off its visibility through the View menu, Database Headers. The database header row can now be left on in the Edit view, as there is now a separate setting in the Object Info palette for whether the database header row will show on the plan itself. With the database header row selected, you can also adjust the criteria of the original report by using the Database menu, Edit Report. The database header row has been updated as well. Each cell in the database header row now includes a drop-down menu to sort information in ascending or descending order, or to summarize or sum the values of the reported data. The database header row can also be edited to report an object's function rather than a record parameter. Functions will now include options to show the layer of the object, the class of the object, or an image. To add formatting to the worksheet, highlight the cells, columns, or rows you want to format, and then right-click Format Cells, or go to the Format menu at the top and choose Cells. In this dialog, you can make adjustments such as the formatting for numbers, alignment of text in cells, fonts, and borders. On top of these improvements to the general workflow, you'll notice a few other new features such as row and column headers highlighting, formatting of cells properly being added to new rows and columns, and new commands in the Worksheet File menu. You now also have the option to recalculate all worksheets in the document or just the specific one that's open, a quick setting to show whether the worksheet is placed in the drawing or not, and direct import-export settings in the worksheet menu as opposed to going through the main file menu of the application. Not only that, but we've also added a few more worksheet functions, many of which you can see here. If you run into any questions or you want additional information on the new worksheets, please also check the new Help menu when editing a worksheet. This will launch the Vectorworks Help directly to the worksheet articles.